Have you ever noticed maybe you're sneezing a bit more inside? Or perhaps the energy bill seems
Right.
off, higher than usual?
Or that sound, the furnace kind of wheezing sometimes.
Exactly. What if there's something you can't see, just sort of hiding out in your home, maybe your business too,
Hmm.
that's causing all this? Affecting health, comfort, even safety.
Hmm.
Well, today that's what we're diving into. We've got this article here from Vacu-Man Furnace and Duct Cleaning.
Okay.
And our mission really is just to unpack what they're saying, understand the who, what, and why behind keeping your air ducts clean based on their perspective.
And what's really interesting right off the bat in this piece is how they personify the whole issue. It's not just dust. They call it dusty debris. The article actually paints dusty as this, get this, freeloading gremlin of grime.
A gremlin of grime. I like that. It makes it less like this vague problem and more like, an unwanted tenant you need to kick out.
Totally. And they get specific, too, about what this dusty character is made of.
Right. It's not just like harmless fluff. They mention pet dander.
Yep, construction dust, if you've had work done.
Cobwebs.
Uh,
And then just mystery fluff. Sounds charming.
it really does sound like a tiny, unpleasant ecosystem hiding in the vents, doesn't it?
It does. So, okay, we know what this gremlin is made of. But the big question the article tackles is, why does it actually matter? Why should we care about this buildup?
Well, that's the core of it. The source lays out some pretty significant impacts this unseen stuff can have.
Okay, like what? What's the first thing?
Well, first up, airflow. Dusty literally blocks up the pathways in your ductwork.
Ah, okay. Like trying to breathe through a straw that's clogged.
Exactly. And that puts a real strain on your whole HVAC system. It's got to work much, much harder just to move the air around.
Which I imagine means it uses more energy.
Bingo. The article states that pretty clearly when the system works harder, your energy costs go up. It's just less efficient.
So Dusty's cost you money, basically, like extra rent for a gremlin.
Pretty much, yeah. And it's not just the cost or the wear and tear on your furnace. It's also about the air you're actually breathing.
Right, the indoor air quality.
Yeah, the piece points out that Dusty really tanks the indoor air quality. All those particles, dander, dust, mystery fluff, they just get circulated back into your rooms.
So that's where the extra sneezing might come from. Or that dry air feeling, or as you said, the furnace sounding like it's wheezing.
It could definitely be a factor, according to this article. Dusty could be the culprit behind all that. It's pushing dirty air around.
Okay, that makes sense. But there was something else mentioned, something more serious.
Yes, and this is critical. The article highlights the danger with dryer vents specifically.
Ah, the dryer, right.
Dusty, or really lint, loves to build up there too. And that lint buildup in a dryer vent, it's a major fire hazard. Seriously flammable.
Wow. Okay, so that shifts it from just being annoying or maybe expensive to potentially really dangerous.
Absolutely. The article stresses this isn't just about efficiency. It's a safety issue that people often forget about.
That's a really important point. And they give a sort of time frame, don't they? Like, how often should you worry about this?
They do. The suggestion in the piece is if it's been more than 3 years since your ducts were looked at, there's a good chance they've become Dusty's dream home.
3 years. Okay,
Yeah.
that's a useful thing to keep in mind, at least from their viewpoint.
So the article paints this picture. Dusty debris causing higher bills, worse air, and even fire risks. Then, logically, it moves on to, well, the solution they provide.
Which is where Vacu-Man comes in. They're presented here as the ones who, tackle Dusty.
Right.
According to the article, they've been doing this, kicking out the grime gremlin, for over 45 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, and they mentioned being family-owned and Aboriginal inclusive. So positioning themselves as established local.
And it's important they note they clean both things, right? The furnace and air ducts, but also those dryer vents we just talked about.
Good point. Covering the whole scope where Dusty might be hiding out.
So the article gives reasons why, according to them, people keep calling them. It seems to be about more than just the basic service.
Yeah. What did you notice about that? What details did they give?
Well, they really emphasize the process. They say they don't just vacuum clean thoroughly from top to bottom.
Okay, suggesting it's a deep clean, not just a quick pass.
Exactly. And this other bit caught my eye, and they aim to educate and entertain customers.
Yeah, I saw that too. It's kind of unusual, isn't it? It implies they care about the customer experience, maybe building some trust or understanding along the way.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
And they serve both homes and businesses, right? So Dusty isn't picky about where it lives.
Apparently not. And they lean into that local angle, describing themselves as Real people, real results, kind of reinforcing that community connection.
Makes sense.
Okay, so if someone listening is now thinking, maybe I do have dusty debris hanging out of my ducts, what are the practical details? How does the article say you can reach out?
All right, so the service area listed is Hamilton, Burlington, Oakville, Milton, Grimsby, Brantford, St. Catharines, and Niagara. Quite a range.
Got it. And the contact info.
They say you can book online at www.vacuman.com, pretty standard now, or just call them at 905-333-5454.
Okay, web or phone, and their hours.
Let's see, Monday through Saturday, 8:00 a.m. to 5:00 p.m.
Good to know. And just for completeness, they give their physical address too.
Yep, right here in the article. 4 Lyndhurst Street, Hamilton, Ontario, L8L7G7.
Okay, great. So that covers the key practical stuff they shared.
Seems like it.
All right, so let's just quickly wrap up what we've covered in this deep dive based on this Vacu-Man article. We started with this idea of an unseen problem.
Dusty debris. The grime gremlin.
Right, made of pet dander, construction dust, all that stuff. Then we look at the consequences. They highlight higher energy bills.
The poor indoor air quality and maybe more sneezing.
And that really serious point about dryer vent fires, a safety risk.
Definitely. And then the solution presented in the article. Vacu-Man, with their long history, their described cleaning approach.
And that focus on education and being local.
Exactly. So if you've been noticing any of those signs, the article connects to dusty, the sneezing, the dry air, maybe that furnace wheeze.
Hopefully this discussion, drawing from the source, gives you a clearer idea of what might be going on inside your vents.
It really makes you think about the air circulating around you all the time, doesn't it? Stuff you normally wouldn't even consider.
Totally. And the article ends with a pretty simple thought. Because life's too short for dirty ducts.
Which kind of brings up a bigger question, doesn't it? If tackling something hidden away like duct dust can improve comfort, safety, maybe even save money.
Yeah.
Well, what other unseen things, maybe overlooked issues in our homes or lives, could be impacting us without us realizing? Addressing the hidden stuff might just lead to some unexpected positive changes.